Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Adhip Kundra and this is my second vlog. So इससे पहले कि मैं अपने सेकंड vlog की शुरुआत करूं, सबसे पहले मैं अपने पहले सब्सक्राइबर्स का तहे दिल से शुक्रिया करना चाहूँगा जिन्होंने पहले वीडियो को एक सक्सेस बनाया. इनफैक्ट आई वाज वेरी हैप्पी विद द रिस्पांस आई रिसीव्ड. Today the date is 14th of August and now I am officially a military veteran. Yes, that's correct. I left the Navy on 24th of June. इसी वजह से मुझे अपने सेकेंड वीडियो को लेके आने में थोड़ा टाइम लगा. But here I am back again with another interesting story. So, हम जैसे शॉर्ट सर्विस कमीशन ऑफिसर्स जब रिटायर होते हैं तो either we pick up a job in the corporate or we start a business of our own. बट हम में से बहुत कम लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो कुछ नया या कुछ आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स ट्राई करते हैं. ऐसे ही एक इंसान है स्क्वाड्रन लीडर शेबा घोष, जिन्होंने एयरफोर्स में 10 साल सर्व करने के बाद हाल ही में एक फीचर फिल्म डायरेक्ट करी जिसका नाम है काजी. तो विदाउट वेस्टिंग मच टाइम, लेट मी टेक यू ऑल टू मीट द इंटरेस्टिंग, द डायनेमिक स्क्वाड्रन लीडर शेबा घोष. So guys, right now I'm sitting with Sheba Ghosh. Ma'am, thank you very much for sparing time for the channel.
Thank you for having me.
That's indeed our pleasure, ma'am. And to begin with, ma'am, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I am Sheba Ghosh. I am 32 years old. I don't feel that old. I love working with young people because they bring the freshest ideas and they don't have the hang-ups our generation had. I studied in several schools, mostly hostels and mostly in Tamil Nadu. I have studied in Kunur, in Kotagiri, I studied in Sikandrabad, in Kolkata, in Gaya, Nazareth Academy. I studied in Babina, which is in UP, and that's where I did my 12th. After that, I studied in Bundelkhand University, BSc Biotech, Jhansi. So that was a very nice place to study. The infrastructure was good, our instructors were good, but also because there was limited distraction there. So I could focus on, in my second year I decided that I wanted to join the Air Force because I was passionate about, I was very idealistic at that age. Now it's tempered with a little bit of maturity and understanding, but yes, at that age I was very idealistic. I wanted to join the Air Force and that was perfect for me. I could focus on my studies, no distractions, because I really had to work on general knowledge. अभी भी बहुत कमज़ोर है. Academy is where I started understanding who I am as a person. I never knew I could do so many things that I did in academy. I got the best lady cadet award when I was in Camp Howard in my first junior term. But then because of some medical conditions, I had to repeat the same term again. So I was a reflighter. But I feel like God wanted me to get reflighted so I could meet my husband. He's my course mate. I would have been his senior if I had passed out with my previous course mates. Air Force has, every part of my life has shaped who I am today. And I'm sure things that happen to me in the future will shape who I will become in the future. And Air Force has been a major part of it because it's my entire youth, my 20s, the whole decade of a decade and a little more of my life was spent with the Air Force. And I consider myself very fortunate to have worked with such amazing people, with so much of heart.
So, ma'am, after your college, you joined the Indian Air Force. So, what motivated you to join the services?
So, like I mentioned earlier, I was idealistic and also realistic. So, I wanted a job where I was independently doing what I love. That at a very young age I could be earning on my own. That was the biggest motivating factor for me. Because BSc Biotech is such that you'll have to do BSc, MSc, PhD, fellowship, and then maybe you get a good job, which is worth your time and money, which is worth you. Otherwise, anybody can get a 8,000 per month ka job, but that doesn't really justify the effort you put in. So for me, Air Force was
Okay, ma'am, that's great. Even I keep reiterating the fact that even I am serving in the Navy. So, ma'am, was it like donning the uniform that really triggered your decision towards
so
joining the Air
the
Force?
emotional factors that drew me to the Air Force was that first of all, my mother always wanted to see me in uniform, and my father, my stepdad, was in army, so I didn't want to be in the same force with him so that he could at any time pinpoint where I was. So Air Force was the best solution for me, and secondly, um, I always wanted a very adventurous life, a life that kept me outdoors.
So, ma'am, what was your function in the Air Force? आपने कौन से cadre में कौन से branch में Air Force join किया?
I was in the Air Force, so I was an air traffic controller in the Air Force. So I've worked with almost all kinds of aircraft, including UAVs, which don't have pilots on board. I worked with fighters, all types of fighters. I worked with helicopters, transport aircraft, and I've even worked with naval officers. I've worked with the French Air Force, Rafale when they come to Jodhpur. So I've had a lot of experience with aircraft. I've worked as an aerodrome controller, as an approach controller, doing controlling via procedural services as well as by using the radar. So I've also done area controlling in Bagdogra, which is my last phase,
Okay.
the best phase of my life.
So you said the best phase. So what was the best part about it, and what is it that you are going to miss about the Air Force?
God, Air Force, the camaraderie, the fact that people check up on you, the fact that there's companionship, there's fellowship, there's friendship. I mean, you can go to somebody's house and say कि चाय बना दो, पकौड़ा बना दो, बारिश का मौसम है, आप ड्यूटी पे भी हो, like my Satko, should I name him?
Up to you, ma'am.
So one of my Durai sir. So Durai sir was one of my best actors. His wife used to send an extra tiffin just for me. So
That's great, ma'am. There's a quote that like there's a lot of hardships in the services, and camaraderie dwells only in the hardships that we face together. So, anything, man, like you'd like to share with the audience that should motivate them to join the services?
yes, see, I cannot choose for you what your reasons may be to join Air Force. But once you come in, you have to realize that the Air Force is an organization that has beautiful guidelines, welfare measures that are for everybody. And they are made up of people. The people run the Indian Air Force or any armed forces or any organization. So you will meet people of all shades over here. But that does not take away from your experience. That should not take away from your experience. You may have a few better experiences, but you should not forget the amazing people that you'll meet. The people who will show up on your birthday, who will ask you to share a cherry with your spouse while they're watching. It's very sounds pervy, but it's so much fun. And Other than that, this is a very uh, challenging place to work. I mean, I every day, I up until the last week of my service, I was controlling aircraft because I love that. My mind was always working. As this is not a job that you can do anywhere. I mean, yes, you can control aircraft as a civil air traffic controller, but being a military air traffic controller is a completely different ballgame. And I don't think you can fly fighter jets in the civil, or the kind of places that you can go to, the kind of inspiring stories you can inspire. So
So, ma'am, आपने अब एयरफोर्स छोड़ के now you are into making films. So you have directed one of the feature films. So, ma'am, please tell us and the audience something about it. Like, what triggered your decision towards entering into filmmaking?
this is a bit of a long answer. So when my son was born in 2019 September, I started writing. I stopped things that creatively motivated me because I was into my life, into working. But once my son was born, it just opened the floodgates of creativity. So I finished my first novel, and then I started writing screenplays. And then one of my screenplays was shortlisted by one of the big production houses. But they said that they would pay me once they make the film. So that's probably industry standard. It was shortlisted by them. So now I had already decided at this point that I wanted to give time to my family more, because both of us in uniform, we tend to give a little less time to our child, and I brought him into this world and it was my decision. So I wanted to give him a little more of my time, my the love of having a mother around. So I realized that if somebody may pay me in a future time, it doesn't really solve uh, the financial issues that we will have, because obviously we have taken on liabilities as a double income group. We are called TIGs in Air Force, in any armed forces. So to mitigate those liabilities, I was wondering why not make it on my own. So of my three scripts, I chose the one that could be made on the smallest budget, and that was also very interesting. It's a psychological drama, and it's not something that you've seen in the Indian uh, cinema on an independent circuit in ages. I feel it's different. And my husband is Gorkha. He's from Darjeeling. My son is Gorkha. So I really wanted to pick people as actors from this region, just so that my son can one day see himself on screen. That was the main motivation earlier. So that's why I decided to produce the film as well. Because had I gone to production houses, please make this film for me, they would definitely do it because it was a very interesting script. But the thing is, they would have big names, people. Obviously, it makes sense in terms of finance. If you're putting money into something, you want to get it back. For me, this is a calculated passion risk, I would say. See, I'm betting on my passion, on my creativity, and also on the strength of this story. I know that you see, you have to weigh how much can you lose. So I have spent my entire life savings on this film. I've taken a small loan, which I know I can pay over a period of time, and actually my husband has taken. He's going to pay it over a period of time if I don't pay him back as soon as possible. And I've taken a small loans from my family, immediate family. So I know this money I can pay them back even if I don't make anything. But when I was working on this project, I gave it my 100%. I took everything I learned from the Air Force and I used it there. And पता है हमें बात बात में पता नहीं चलता कि हम लोग क्या सीख रहे हैं. It's almost like the Mr. Miyagi thing, na? You're like wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off, and he doesn't know at that time that he's using these skills later on to protect himself, self-defense. So whatever I learned from the Air Force in terms of man management, in terms of well-being, in terms of understanding logistics, in terms of negotiating. और मैंने जुगाड़पंती मैंने एयरफोर्स में सीखा, जुगाड़ कैसे करते, मतलब, एंड ये किसी इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म मेकर के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि बजट बनाने वाले आपको बोलेंगे कि इसका तो बजट 5 लाख है, तो 10 लाख भी हो सकता है। आप ऐसे नहीं काम कर सकते, आपको बोलना है कि भाई मेरे पॉकेट में तो इतना ही है, इतने में तो क्या देगा, वो बोलेगा इतना दूंगा, फिर बोलेगा थोड़ा और दे देना। सो दैट आई लर्न फ्रॉम एयरफोर्स। मैंने कहाँ सीखा आई कांट टेल यू एग्जैक्टली, बट सीख लेता हूँ मैं, मतलब।
सही बात है। बट मैम आपको इस फिल्म के दौरान इसको बनाते हुए आपको ऐसा नहीं लगा कि आपको लीड में मेरे जैसे एक्टर को कास्ट करना चाहिए था?
हाँ, आई वुड हैव, बट आप नेपाली नहीं हो ना, गोरखा नहीं हो ना।
That's good, ma'am. That's good. I wish you all the very best and success to be your film. बट मैम हमारे ऑडियंस को बताइए इस फिल्म में, जैसे आपने बताया ठीक है कि बजट हैंडल करना विथ लिमिटेड फाइनेंसेस, विथ लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज मस्ट हैव बीन अ चैलेंज, बट what other challenges that you face?
So I learned during the making of this film that nobody is indispensable. मतलब मैं भी अगर उस शूट में मर जाती तो कोई और उस शूट को ख़त्म कर ही देगा। तो on the 4th day, one of my actors, there was a misunderstanding, and then there was, shall I say, creative differences, that we cropped up. So we had to replace the actor, and it was from somebody within our own group. So you face that also, like after you already shot that person's part. We shot this film in 12 days. 12 days not because we are super fast and all that. 12 days because 12 दिन का बजट था। इतना ही पैसा है, इतना ही चाहिए, अब करना ही है। And I was so lucky that I had an amazing crew. Cast तो है ही, they were very nice, very good. Like Shishi sir from अब मुंबई से हैं, उन्होंने इतने सारे मूवीज किए। ही इज बीन इन द सिनेमा इंडस्ट्री एंड थिएटर सिंस एजेस, एंड ही वाज लाइक अ स्ट्रॉन्ग guiding light over there. Other than that, this would not have been possible without my crew, and that's what Forge taught me again, to identify the best workers, to get them people who want to work with passion and not just people who are working for the money. So because of that, we were able to do it.
That's good, मैम। मैम आपका ये एक्सपीरियंस सुन के मेरे को एक अपना एक्सपीरियंस याद आया जो मैं आपके साथ इनफैक्ट विद द ऑडियंस आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर इट। जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि मैंने अपने कॉलेज में आई टुक द इनिशिएटिव ऑफ मेकिंग 2 शॉर्ट फिल्म्स, सो not that great. We didn't have the budget, we didn't have the resources, and since it was like my first time initiative, there was no support from the college also. Like we didn't have any sponsors, we didn't have any budget allocation from the college, which were allocated to the other committees for the college festival. So what had happened was the film was made, we had managed sponsors, everything, okay, everything was done. But just 3 days before the college festival, when the film was about to be screened, the college management had a review for the film and they had objections to certain scenes. And they said they will just scrap the movie and will not allow it to be screened during the film festival. Now it was like a hard work of a lot of people put in all together. We had worked collaboratively, cohesively to deliver whatever we had made. It was our passion and we had to deliver it. Now just to meet the requirements, yes, within those 3 days I remember how we just changed the entire screenplay, everything, whatever editing was required. But yes, on the D-Day, finally the film was screened during the college festival.
That's amazing.
So what I want to share with the audience is if we have the passion to do something, we definitely achieve success out of it. Don't you agree, ma'am?
Definitely. You need passion, heart, and you need to be courageous. Courageous, जैसे हम हर फौजी दीवार में आपको दिखेगा, courage is not the absence of fear, it is working despite the fear. So you just need to, but then दैट डजंट मीन कि यू जंप ऑफ अ बिल्डिंग और समथिंग, यू वे योर चांसेस. अब हर किसी के पास वो अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं था जो मेरे पास था. आई एम सॉरी, आई एम गोइंग लिटिल ऑफ ट्रैक, बट आई नीड टू टेल पीपल अबाउट दिस ऑल्सो कि बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल विद योर ड्रीम्स ऑल्सो, बिकॉज आपके ड्रीम्स सिर्फ आपके नहीं है, दे अफेक्ट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल अराउंड यू. ऑफकोर्स आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि कुछ भी मत करो, बट अपने आप को उस लेवल तक लाओ जिस लेवल से फिर आप अपने आप को सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज दे सकते हो. आई डिड नॉट इमीडिएटली थिंक दैट आई एम गोइंग टू मेक अ 6 crore का फिल्म. Neither did I think कि नहीं मुझे अमिताभ बच्चन जी ही चाहिए मेरे फिल्म में. Not that he wouldn't say yes to this, and I'm pretty confident he would have, but वो हमारे कैरेक्टर में नहीं थे. I'm just saying that I did not do that because I knew कि मेरे पास इतना ही पैसा है और मुझे कुछ अच्छा बनाना है, मुझे अपने आप को एस्टैब्लिश करना है और मेरे साथ जो काम करे उनको भी एस्टैब्लिश करना है. तो दिस वॉज अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी along with the passion that I was following. बहुत सारे मैंने फिल्म मेकर्स देखे हैं जो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट के आगे ही नहीं बढ़ते हैं बिकॉज दे डोंट इवन रीच द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट बिकॉज देयर ड्रीम स्टार्ट एट 10 crore. अब आपको कोई नहीं देने वाला. इट्स एज सिंपल एज दैट. कोई आप क्या किसी नेबर को जाके 10 लाख रुपए ऐसे दे दोगे क्या? नहीं. या फिर वो एक इन्वेस्टमेंट दिखाएंगे आपको, कुछ दिखाएंगे, तब जाके होता है. यू हैव टू एस्टैब्लिश योरसेल्फ. तो वो एस्टैब्लिश कैसे करोगे आप अपने आप को? ये नहीं बोल रही कि सिर्फ शॉर्ट फिल्म्स बनाओ, फीचर फिल्म बनाओ, बट ऑल्सो नो दैट यू हैव टू बी अवेयर ऑफ द लायबिलिटीज दैट आर इन्वॉल्व. लाइक आई सेड, आई न्यू हाउ मच मनी आई एम पुटिंग इन. मेरा पैसा मुझे वापस नहीं मिला, कोई बात नहीं, मेरा बेटा भुगतेगा. आई विल नॉट हैव एनी मनी टू गिव हिम, बट he will have a mother who has done what she wants to do in life. But it's not like पागल होके नहीं, बस सोच समझ के.
So, ma'am, apart from the, I would say, the film crew, the cast, who else would you like to thank? Like, और कौन लोग थे जो इस achievement के पीछे जिनका हाथ रहा है?
My husband, first of all, my family. I'll start with my husband. First of all, Nivu, my son. He is the one. उसके पैदा होते ही I realized कि मैं कुछ भी कर सकती हूँ. I actually believe that. He gave me the strength to believe that कि why not? हम अपने आप को ये पूछना भूल जाते हैं, why not? मुझे कुछ करना है, why not? करो, देखो, possible है तो करो. So my son, my husband, because he not only loves me, he respects me and respects my opinion, my decision. It's not easy ना कि किसी का retirement fund आ रहा है घर में. It could be put into investment. We could have led a more comfortable life. We could buy things we wanted. No, उसकी वाइफ ने बोला कि बस सब कुछ मैं इसमें डाल दूँ, without any surety of a return or any dividend or anything. But he didn't care about that. He just lets me be, and that is the biggest gift you can ask for. Freedom to me, जो बोलते हैं ना कि वो मुझे सांस नहीं लेने देता या my spouse doesn't let me go out with this person, that person. That is not freedom to me. Freedom to me is being able to voice your thoughts. कितने सारे औरतें हमारे कंट्री में they can't even speak. And it's not कि गाँव में ऐसा, शहरों में भी ऐसा ही है. आपने ऊंची आवाज़ में बोला हाउ डेयर यू, हाउ डेयर शी, ये सब है. मेरे घर में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I am a equal human being in this house, and that's why I've been able to flourish this way. I wish every other woman gets this opportunity to just be and express themselves. And my parents, my in-laws, without their support it would not have been possible, because filming and the pursuit of filming is not easy. It's not कि घर बैठे बैठे फ़ोन लगा के हो गया. आपको ऑन ग्राउंड जाना है. बिकॉज देखो, मेरे को कोई कोट कर रहा है कि अकोमोडेशन का पर पर्सन का 1800 है. अब मेरे पास उतना बजट नहीं है. सो आई वेंट डोर टू डोर नॉकिंग ऑन होटल रूम डोर्स. इट्स नॉट ईजी फॉर अ वुमन टू बी गोइंग एंड डूइंग ऑल दिस, बिकॉज सबसे पहले दिमाग कुछ और लगता है. फिर बोलेंगे 40 आदमी के लिए, मतलब उनका दिमाग और सटक जाता है. So, but then किसी तरह I managed to get a quotation of 250 rupees, which went on to 360 rupees because of COVID. फिर भी manageable. कहाँ 1800? तो ये चीज़ चल के जाके करना पड़ता और मैं कैसे कर सकती थी? मेरा छोटा सा बेबी, my son was 2 years old at that time. When I used to write, my mom was there. She's always been there. Like वो तुझे करना है ठीक है, मैं आ रही हूँ. She left her job so that she can come and help me do this. So there's that. And shooting के दौरान I didn't know दिन है रात है, किसी तरह हम लोग सुबह से लेकर रात से लेकर अगली रात तक करते थे. She was there looking after my son, and my son also, like we don't give our children enough credit to know that they understand things. He's a very understanding boy. मतलब 2.5 साल में उसको इतना समझ है जो मुझे अभी तक, लाइक मैं फौजी होके भी मैं अपने हस्बैंड को पूछती यार तुम्हें क्यों जाना है, तुम्हें क्यों ड्यूटी करनी है, कोई और क्यों नहीं. मेरा बेटा ऐसा नहीं है. मेरा बेटा लाइक इफ आई टेल कि पापा लाइक कॉल हिम मुझे काम कर रहा है, वेट पेशेंस. माय सन हैज दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सो
नहीं मैम, I would like to conclude this interview by saying that
finally he's concluding because I talk so much.
no, ma'am, I'm actually worried that my phone's memory may run out. This is just my second vlog, so the experience and the mistakes give a lot of learnings. So I would like to tell the audience that ma'am, you are an inspiration not just for the women in the country but for everybody who aspires to achieve their dreams. So once again ma'am, thank you very much to be on my channel and motivating the audience towards achieving their
and congratulations to you on taking this step.
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
I wish you and your channel and your family the best.
Thank you.
I wish you great success. Thank you so
Ma'am,
much.
but you have to say like and subscribe. That's how we actually
like and subscribe. Okay, subscribe. Okay. मेरे लिए भी कर देना. मेरे पास सिर्फ 40 सब्सक्राइबर है. See you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.